the Nets want to see how that thigh bruise feels today with Kevin Durant. Their sense is that usually, it hurts a little more the next day, and they'll get a better sense of how long he might miss. But the hope is that this is a day-to-day injury. But they wanted to really just see how it felt today when Durant came back in for treatment.
And they've erred on the side of caution with him all year, and understandably so when you consider what he's coming back from. But, what should we make of the fact that the Nets' big three has barely played together at all? I'm trying to wrap my mind around what that actually means. What do you think, big picture, it means?
Yeah, 7 games, Greeny. That's the amount of games that Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving have played together. And it is a concern. And I think if you're just matching up talent in the playoffs, not just the Nets star power, but the role players they have, adding a Blake Griffin in the buyout market. Joe Harris is having an outstanding season. The Nets, they don't have a lot of holes, certainly, but the continuity that they don't have in big moments. And the postseason, you're going to be in a drag-out game with a Philadelphia, with a Milwaukee, with a Miami. And they don't have that experience together. And I think that with those other teams, that's their belief that they could still get Brooklyn in the postseason.
All right, we'll see what happens when we get there. Meanwhile, I need your reaction to this. So yesterday, Zion Williamson and the Pelicans lost in overtime to the Knicks at the Garden. And then afterwards, Zion, after his first game in the NBA at the Garden, said this.
New York is the mecca of basketball. I love playing. I love playing here. This atmosphere, whether they're cheering for you, whether they're booing for you, it's amazing. Honestly, I think outside of New Orleans, obviously, I think this might be my favorite place to play outside of New Orleans. I can't even lie to you. I can't lie to you.
Woj, I'm sure no one in New York will overreact to that. What should the reaction be to young Zion saying this is his favorite place to play?
I think it's something to watch down the road, Greeny. I think if you followed Zion Williamson closely, he doesn't just talk to talk, and he's pretty particular in what he says and when he says it. He's been very consistent like that, even back to Duke, but in the NBA. And so, listen, he's a long way away from free agency. He's only in his second year in the NBA. But I think with the way that the Knicks have been rejuvenated, success you're seeing them have here in the short term anyway, I don't think it was completely by accident. If you the beginning of that clip, Greeny, he said, "Hey, I'm glad you asked that." It was clear he was waiting for that question. So something to watch down the road. And listen, I think we all know with New York, if you have a competent product on the floor, if that team is run well, Madison Square Garden in New York is a place that players should want to play. We'll see how New York's able to carry that forward to a time where maybe it's a more timely conversation with players like Zion Williamson.
Now, for the record, Zion did play there as a collegiate. He played there at Duke, but he did not play there last season. Quickly, has that perception of the Knicks changed? With Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau, our old buddy here, used to work with us on this show. Has that perception inside the league changed quickly?
It's absolutely starting to change, and you're seeing a team that probably plays harder than any team in the league and is not going to be an easy out in the playoffs.